me, Jane SMR. Jane SMR. How are you? How are you doing? How are you feeling? I wanted to have a little chat with you tonight. It's Sunday night. Back to the grind tomorrow. Are you going back to school? Are you in school's out right now? No school. Are you going back to work? What are you doing? It is Sunday night. Sunday scaries. I was listening to this podcast earlier today and I was like, that is exactly what I want to talk about. This is another thing that is really something that resonates with me, and so I thought I would have a little pep talk with you tonight about perfectionist habits, perfectionism, how it relates to procrastination. So I just wanted to do a little chat with you, and I'm going to try to find some new triggers. I know I keep saying that, but for now we're just going to do, the fabric sounds, the hand sounds, and I've gathered a few things that I've been using just for tapping sounds and stuff. Do you consider yourself a perfectionist? What I wanted to talk about was the reasons that you can start to think about that, why good reasons to not be a perfectionist, and how you can really think about this and incorporate this into your life. But I want to start with chatting a little bit about how perfectionism can be such a detriment, primarily in the context of how this results in procrastination. And this is something that resonates with me a lot. Oh geez, the fridge started again. I hope it's not too loud. I don't think it picks it up too much. I think you do hear it, but I don't think it's too bad. So a lot of times, one of the things that you hear about perfectionists is it's so much easier to just not start something because the fear of not only it not being perfect, but it's like there's the fear of success. What do you do if it is really successful? Where do you go from there? But also this fear of like, if I can't do it well, I'm not going to do it at all. And so that is a really common indicator that procrastination is because someone is feeling those perfectionist tendencies, and that just breeds so many other things, that are not fun or fair for you to carry with you, like resentment, right? If you are like, gosh, so-and-so is doing this thing that, I know I could do better, but the fear is holding you back. Fear is such a strong emotion. I forget what it is exactly, but there's only a few core feelings, and fear is one of them that is at the core of so many things in human nature, human behavior. And so it's that fear that keeps you from moving forward. So you're procrastinating because you're it's never going to be as good as what I want, so why do I even bother to get started? It's so unfair to you. What a limiting way to live your life, and we're just gonna leave that. Rogue hairs. And this is something that I get a lot. I've always struggled with this. I'm the kind of person who I start a lot of things, or I'll have a lot of ideas of stuff I want to do, and then I get overwhelmed by the ideas and then I don't actually do it. And so one of the things that I have loved is this channel has been very forgiving for me as like an opportunity to actively work on that. You know, I started watching ASMR and I think I watched it for like a year, maybe 2 years. I had like the vaguest idea even of what ASMR was until I started seeing it on TikTok, and I was like, I am into this. There was some ASMR that I had heard of before, but it just like, it really didn't do it for me, and I didn't realize there were lots of different types of ASMR. And then a couple years ago I started seeing it on TikTok, and I was like obsessed. I was like, this is so soothing, this is so calming, I need this in my life. And then I thought for a while about starting a channel, but it felt scary, you know. And then I was like, I need to just commit to, like, no one is good at everything right away. And I think that's part of the conversation. It's like, we want to be so good at things, we want to do things well, but like, it's okay to remember that there is a learning curve, and like, it's going to take time to get better at things. And so one of the things I was listening about was like there's this hierarchy, and you know, they talk about how at the beginning it's like you're not good and you don't even know how not good you are, and then you actively, consciously start to get better, and you're working on it, and you're learning and doing the things you need to do so that you are a little bit better. And then you grow in competency, but it's like embracing and accepting that you are going to suck at first, and that is okay. I am still learning, you know. I love this community, has been super sweet and super supportive. I still tweak, see a little pet hair, I still tweak stuff with my mic all the time because I feel like I'm still learning how to get the like levels just right. I think that for a long time I was really loud. I think I'm still too loud sometimes. For a long time I think I was really loud, if you look at some of the earlier stuff. And so it's like just learning all that stuff, you know, lighting. But I feel like I get a little bit of a pass because this is like a long-term temporary situation. I do have a better lighting situation when I get back, which should be a couple more weeks, and then I think I'm gonna head back. But like, it's okay to learn, it's okay to need to adjust, and this has been such a safe sort of like incubator, such a safe space for me to feel like it's okay for me to fumble my way through this, and everyone has been so supportive, and I think it's a good environment for it. But this has been such a good lesson for me because this is exactly the kind of thing for years I would want to do. And then not do because of this like pressure to do it perfectly. But the biggest thing is to just start. And I need to incorporate that into other pieces of my life because there are absolutely things that I've wanted to do that I've just been putting off. I just dropped the bookmark, so you are bookmarkless for the rest of this video. I forgot about that thing. I like the sounds it makes, so I'll bring it back again soon. But I really like this too. Some wood tapping. I've been seeing this like wood soup. Not a thing I ever thought I would need in my life, but I'm a huge fan. Anyway, so procrastination can often be because you're afraid it's not going to be perfect, and so allowing yourself and embracing yourself to not be perfect. And I wanted to talk about this again because this is something that like I resonate so deeply with, and everyone's kind reception of this channel I think has really helped me to continue to show up and want to keep making content super regularly. Well, that feels like something that I can do. And hopefully that will spill into other sections of my life. And so, now that being said, I want to talk, I have some notes here about what I had mentioned about why some really important benefits out of like embracing imperfection. And the first thing is, oh my gosh, sorry, I got a tickle in my throat, but I really don't want to cough. Being imperfect, I mean, that is what makes life unique and interesting. And also, the reality is there's so many sort of accidents. I call it happy accidents, right? That was a LaCroix from earlier. That was a LaCroix. I am desperately trying to quell the itch in my throat. But, you know, happy accidents that result in something even more beautiful than you anticipated, you know, just like some silly examples. I think there's so many things, oh my gosh, and I can't think of a single one, but I want to say Velcro, and this is so bad, where it's like they meant to create one thing and they invented something else. Like, that happens all the time, you know? And it's like funny because they technically failed, but really they succeeded, you know? I think Velcro, and I want to say Post-it notes was supposed to be something else, and this is gonna be really sad if those are both wrong. There's something. At any rate, there are lots of inventions and creative innovations that we use in our daily life that like were meant to be one thing and it turned out to be something else. But the point is, imperfection can sometimes actually be exactly what you want it to be. You just didn't know it yet, you know? And that's sort of like the variety and the spice that makes life interesting, you know? Imperfect people are interesting, are engaging. That's what breeds empathy, you know? And it's like, empathy is, you know, sympathy. You don't really understand something, but when you have these different imperfect experiences, it breeds compassionate behavior, it breeds empathy, like a genuine place of understanding for the things around you and the people in your life, because you've been there too. You've been through things, you know? The next item is just managing your expectations. This is one of my favorite things. I talk about this so much. I talk about managing expectations so much, both with the context of like personal and professional life. I think managing expectations is like one of my number one things I would talk to people about at work, with regards to like how to improve your work-life experience. Managing expectations, if you aren't familiar, is taking the initiative to communicate so that you are on the same page. So you are quite literally managing someone's expectation. So let's say, for example, you're working on a report. In your head, it's going to take about a week. Maybe in your head it's going to take 2 weeks to complete this project, and your boss thinks it should only take a week. But if neither of you explicitly address it, then that's like a mismatch of expectations. But if you say, hey, you know, I think I just want to check in with you. This is what I'm ballparking for the deadline for this project. Does that sound reasonable? This is you managing expectations. And I think that is builds into this conversation, because if you're able to be realistic with your time and your abilities and what you think you can accomplish, that is a part of accepting that you are imperfect. We're not machines, we can't churn stuff out. You know, life happens, things are complicated. In your personal life, you know, instead of just like, you're talking to a friend, let's talk sometime this week. Your friend thinks you're gonna call in the next couple days. You're really slammed at work and you're not planning to reach out till the end of the week. You can manage that expectation. Let's chat on Wednesday. And so that is part of embracing your imperfections. It makes our expectations manageable. It's also your own expectation on yourself, you know, understanding that you are you're perfectly imperfect work in progress, right? So it manages your own expectation of yourself, and it's not putting all of this pressure. You know, I think a lot of times internal pressure is so much worse than external pressure. I struggle with that. I for sure put internal pressure on myself that is unnecessary. And so again, I think by verbalizing this, the more we talk about it, the more it comes out of our subconscious into our conscious mind, and we can take action to improve that. The next thing is embracing your imperfections. It makes you more comfortable with asking for help. Maybe I'll play with the mic a little bit. I don't know. Let me know if you like that. I don't know if I can talk, or I should talk, because I think that'll mess with the sound. But I'll have to check and see how loud that was. Help. If you understand that you are imperfect and you cannot possibly accomplish everything that you want to do in one day, it makes it easier for you to ask for help. And help and getting to where you want to be is so much better than being unable to ask for help because you think that you can do it all, and you're unable to accept that you are an imperfect work in progress. Okay. Finally, embracing imperfection allows you to set a standard and be an example for others as well. You know, kind of like be the change you want to see, right? Being a good example, embracing your imperfections instead of trying to strive for perfection is a really great model to set. You know, I try to post every day when I can. Obviously, I took a very long break when I needed to, and I will have nights off for sure. It's just something that I'm able to do right now, so I want to do it right now. But yeah, so those are just some. That is not comprehensive. Those are some of the really important benefits of embracing imperfection. I think perfectionism is not a goal to strive for, and I think it's something that we can all keep in mind to give ourselves grace, to give people around us grace as we kind of, navigate this crazy world together. Okay, so that is my rambling little pep talk on perfectionism, procrastination, and why you should not be a perfectionist. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that. I appreciate you so much for watching. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being you.